Welcome to East Vinewood, one of the most overlooked and forgotten neighborhoods in GTA 5's Los Santos. It literally only consists of 3 blocks, sandwiched between the Los Santos Freeway to the west, the casino to the north, the Del Perro Freeway to the south, and the Los Santos storm drain to the east. Today we are going to be going block by block and analyzing the buildings and weird vibes of this insanely tiny suburb that really only acts as a way to make the city seem bigger. Driving up to the first block, you can see the main reason this neighborhood even exists, the great views of downtown. And I mean great views. However, the luxury view does not correlate to luxury stores and homes. The first building is Aladdin's Cave, a secondhand appliance and electronics store, which seems to have gone out of business, with boarded up windows and lots of old furniture outside. Going around back, there's a loading dock, but no driveway to get back here. Maybe it was made for Aladdin to get over here in his magic carpet. Next door is a suspicious pharmacy, which definitely prescribes weed for headaches. Connected was also this laundromat, which had a crazy full interior, and the sign that said they'd dry clean a suit for $9. Even for 2013, those prices are good. While trying to change my camera, this guy came out of nowhere and ran straight into my elbow. Kinda deserved though. Nobody gets that close to you in Los Santos unless they're trying to mug or molest you. Whatever, stuff happens. In the middle of the first block was this weird pathway. I don't know why they even have this, and no one ever goes down it. Prime land. In California, they could build at least 5 more houses here, $1 million a piece. The first actual house of East Vinewood was for sale. I'm guessing it was sort of a duplex, and it was a little old looking. But the one next door looked even rougher, but at least the views are nice. Also, none of these houses have garages, so I guess if you want a view, you have to give up parking and live in a 100-year-old house that's probably only 800 square feet. Next door was this historic-looking apartment building. I was gonna explore a little more, but all of a sudden I got shot. These dudes in blue must be a gang over here. I had to escape, so I started climbing up the apartment building. Man, that view doesn't get old. Might have to buy a house here, maybe if I don't die. They were coming from all angles, and they even had choppers. In all seriousness though, I'm guessing the cops get called a lot over here. And crime is probably the reason most of the shops are closed. Took them down easy though. Not even 2 could stop me. But they kept sending more. Cops were climbing up. Helicopters surrounded me on all sides. I had no hope. Coming back, I decided to explore the alleyway behind the houses and stumbled upon this cat. Easily makes this neighborhood top 10. This pathway was pretty empty and connected to another one at the end, and the only thing protecting you from falling 100 feet onto a bustling highway was this broken fence. Exiting, I went to the apartment building and found that it had a name, Lady Ray's Apartments. After a little research, I found that it was based on a real building, 100 Echo Park Lane in LA, and it overlooks Echo Park, just like how the one in-game overlooks Broker Park. Yo, is that house in the game as well? That's crazy. Rockstar really goes all out on their games. Mad respect. I also saw this lady outside. Maybe it was Lady Ray. While driving, I noticed a major flaw in this neighborhood. There were tons of sidewalks and crosswalks, but no lights or help for pedestrians. Not even a single stop sign. Well, I guess it's probably like that in Los Angeles, so it's fine. Standing on the next block, we have BJ's Market. Haha, funny. There are these 2 hipsters outside. I walked up and asserted dominance. Pathetic. I couldn't tell if this place was open, but it did have this cool gate. Next door was a place most people know and associate this area with, the Downtown Cab Company. We've all been here before. I never looked closely at this place though, and man, it's a little rough. And why do they need barbed wire on these fences when there's like 50 entrances? Exploring around back, even the trash cans were protected by barbed wire. Weird. Once again, there's an empty lot. This time, it wasn't a walkway though. At first, I thought it was this house's backyard, but there's no entrance. This house next door had a porch that went all the way around. However, you had to dodge some spiky trees. This house was falling apart, and the windows had glue on them? Man, I know this house is not protected by no security cameras. Just look at this place. Who would even want to break in? Literally right next door is a burnt out car and another empty lot. Still though, this is prime real estate. Brand new modern house, bring some more hippies in. And this was a huge lot. On the other side seemed to be another duplex with a double garage. It also had a very nice backyard. I'd for sure live here, sitting out here on the balcony every day, looking out into the distance. Then something caught my eye. I ran over to the house across the street. A tiny little kitty cat. How cute. Onto the final block. Gotta get a new car. These guys must have really not liked it because they started shooting at me. I drove for my life, but found myself at a dead end in the abandoned motel at the final third block. I took out my pistol and started firing back, but it turns out they had a whole army on me. Seems like the whole neighborhood hated my car. But don't worry, I mowed them down easily. Damn, bro, my car'd be looking like Bonnie and Clyde's. Something straight out of a mob movie. Especially in this motel. Every single room was boarded up, probably ready to be demolished soon. All of a sudden, I started getting shot again. It was the boys in blue coming back for me. I guess they hadn't had enough of me. I climbed my way to the top floor, taking out as many as I could with my sharp shooting. I easily made my way to the roof. I pulled out of the motel, surprised that my car could still run. It had like 200 bullet holes, all my windows were shot out, and one of my tires was gone. I drove straight through Broker Park, hitting an insane jump, and even a more insane one. I obviously stuck the landing. I guess my driving skills were too good for a car like this, because it just broke down. To get rid of the evidence, I can only do one thing. Maybe not the best choice in the middle of a highway, but I don't know. I was getting shot from helicopters, but I saw my chance out. I was too slow, and now I was desperate. Death was soon. I saw another chance, and I didn't disappoint. I drove as fast as I could, but the cops were everywhere. I ended up back in the park, and the cops finally lost me. The goalposts over here are insanely strong, just like me. I also saw this dog running around and followed him to his owners to get a nice, candid video. I forgot Trevor was covered in blood, however, and they all ran away screaming. I thought it couldn't get any worse, but that's when the cops came back. I didn't have a car this time, so I had to run. I followed my buddies. I think they were trying to help lead me somewhere. How nice of them. I ran down the mountainside. I knew that if I made it under the bridge, the helicopter stood no chance. I looked behind me. There were hundreds, all wanting to get me. Wow, this is just like real life. I ran into a warehouse, jumped down into storm drains, and then the helicopter showed up and started flying under the bridge. I was so done. I went back over the fence onto the train yard and saw my friends yet again. This time I wasn't gonna run. I was gonna hide. No way they could find me here. Oh crap. Nah, we running again. I crossed the storm drains to the other side. East Vinewood was the last thought in my mind. I needed to escape once and for all. Except apparently Trevor doesn't know how to climb. If this was urgent, we would have been caught for sure. I found another hiding spot. I needed to regain my stamina if I wanted to make it out of here alive. But the cops always find a way. My only chance to freedom was a train, and somehow, someone granted my wishes. I saw it approaching. If Trevor doesn't mess up like he did before, we'd be free to live in East Vinewood as an innocent man. Damn it, Trevor. That was totally not my fault. Learn to climb, bro. Life always gives you a second chance though, so I made the best of it. I climbed on, and we were home free. Riding the train out of the city, I felt free. But wait, I didn't finish my video. I guess it's time to go back. I hop off the train, almost get run over, and make my way back without any crashes. The last bit of the final block only held a few more houses. First one was a typical Californian small house. Second one was a pretty big single-family home. Checking out the back, there were weird wires between the windows, and this house actually had a carport. Interesting looking one. Going to the final house, I see yet another cat. They must be breeding and fighting them in cat rings over here. This final one was another small house. It had a quaint backyard with great views of the beautiful motel. Also, like every single piece of greenery here, it has trash in it. But that's also just normal in California. I was gonna explore the motel at night, but the guys from before came back. They destroyed my car and still hate it. Car racism, I guess. Well, now is a great time to explore Broker Park. The drive-through earlier was not enough. There were lots of benches and a nice fountain. However, the ground was again covered in litter. There was also a nice playground. However, everybody was giving me weird looks when I was there. A couple of pedos, I guess. This place would have had an insane view if it weren't for these absurd and huge transmission towers. Well, you could just keep those out of your vision, and it's pretty nice, I guess. I saw the skate park earlier, and I knew I needed to test it out. I borrowed this bike and hit some jumps. I was so good, I got an entourage following me. I drove out across the soccer field and enjoyed the colorful sunset once again, this time without gunfire from the cops. Other than green space, there's plenty of parking, as well as 2 public bathrooms. However, if you're from the US, you know to never get near any of these things. In Los Santos, I'm guessing you would probably die just getting 100 feet close to these things. Taking one more ride around, everybody seemed to have come home from work. People stood on their porches, cars were in driveways, and I rode down the secret dirt path. If I were to pick a place to live here, it wouldn't be a house, but Lady Ray's apartments. They seem cozy and just a cool place to be, especially since you're close to the city, a park, and a casino. All the houses' lights were on, so I was about to leave, but I noticed this parking lot I had previously driven past without notice. It was definitely for the motel, but seemed to have gone out of business since it was abandoned. Inside the guard shack was a TV and a radio. Other than that, it was pretty empty. I don't even know how people parked in here though. There's no lines, it looked extremely uneven, and I think I've seen mountains smoother than this. I realized something though. There is still one place to explore, the Lost MC Clubhouse, and I still needed revenge. I walked right up to their hangout and wiped them out. It seems like they just took over an old warehouse. There were tons of abandoned cars and a nice couch. They were also very patriotic. But once more, the cops came, but I had an escape plan this time. I ran to the stables, escaped the back way, and got into my getaway car. I left East Vinewood a free man.